All right, YouTube is up. Let's go to Facebook. We'll go live in three, two. What is up? My name is Mike Dendarski. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 65 of the What Had Happened Was podcast. Find it hard to believe I've done 64 of these already, including what I did with the interviews and stuff. So that's 65 altogether. Some me, some other people talking, some, that the audio wasn't so great, some that I kind of had it figured out, and I got to get used to looking up my nostrils again. Been 2 weeks since my last live one. This time I'm actually doing a YouTube live, a Facebook live, and recording the audio podcast at once. So if my computer just dies, it wouldn't surprise me. The reason I'm doing that is because the Facebook Live is in my opinion, the best for, I guess you could say, interaction and back and forth with people. YouTube is the best for replays. I don't know, Facebook Live, when you try to replay and it's hard to like skip to different parts. And YouTube, obviously, everyone has YouTube. Everyone has used YouTube. So it's really easy to skip to different parts. And I don't know. I like YouTube's video interface better than Facebook's, but Facebook seems to be more interactive and easier for people to just hop on their phone when they get a notification. So I'm doing literally 3 different streams at the same exact time. And I hope I don't, like Ghostbusters, cross my streams and have my computer explode. It's been quite the weekend in the Dendarski household. If anyone knows my wife, they know that she went away to Philly for the weekend. So I was like a single mother. It was quite insane, to say the least. Not that I don't help out around the house with my kids and with chores and things of that nature. Well, my wife might tell you I don't know. I don't know her feelings. I feel like I help out, but so she was gone. Anyway, long story short, and I felt like a fucking single mother, except I didn't post about how hard it was on Facebook. And I'm not, I need to stop. Single moms don't do that. I shouldn't say that. Single moms have it super hard. I actually had like a finish line to look forward to. So I knew Lindsay was coming back on Sunday. So I knew if I could just get through Friday, get through Saturday, that there was a finish line on Sunday. I know a lot of single mothers don't have an actual finish line. So I shouldn't, make fun or poke fun at the shit that single mothers deal with, because I was one for about 48 hours and I almost lost my mind. It was like when she walked in the door, I was kind of like, here, they're yours. Which I don't know if you've ever noticed, if you have kids, when they do stuff that's good or stuff that you want them to do, they're your kids. Like that's my kid out there on the soccer field. That's my son just scored a goal. My daughter just brought home a report card with 3s on it, which in kindergarten, who knew they give 1, 2s, and 3s? But they do. Well, at least in Capital. I don't know about your kid's school district. Heaven forbid they give letter grades or number grades. I don't know. But anyway, she got mostly 3s, so I was happy with that. She did get, it was weird. So she got a 2 in like talks too much, or pays attention, or there was some note on something, like some dumb stuff you get graded for in kindergarten that they don't grade you for in real life. But it was like paying attention or something like that. So I was worried. And then at her parent-teacher conferences, the teacher was like, oh, she's always attentive. She rarely ever talks. We don't have outbursts from her. And I was like, I wanted to say, well, then why did she get a 2 on like paying attention or not talking? But I didn't want to be a jerk parent, because she's in kindergarten and who gives a shit if she has 3s or 2s, as long as they're going to promote her, which they are, and she can go on to first grade. I genuinely don't care if she had all 1s. It wouldn't bother me. Anyway, what I'm saying is when your kids do good things, you take the ownership. And as soon as they start to be bad or they're on your nerves, they're then your spouse's kids. Like when she walked in the door, I was like, here are your kids. Take your kids. I'm going to the store. I just needed to get out of the house and not be around my kids for a little bit. So I went and we picked up some potatoes for mashed potatoes. We had pork and mashed potatoes for dinner. I know you guys are really interested in our dining habits. Which actually I can jump off from there, dining habits, because what's going on, and I don't, actually I'll talk shit. I don't care. The keto diet, what is up with everyone with this keto diet right now? I get it. Like, as humans, we've only been eating wheat for 10,000 years, and sugar's bad and carbs are bad. But we've known that for some time. So why is everybody now trying to get into like a state of ketosis, where your body's essentially sick and in survival mode and just surviving off of fat? I don't understand what this new keto kick is. I get it. We had the paleo where we had the bulletproof coffee, and everyone who's doing CrossFit was doing that. And I don't know what kicked off keto, but carbs are really the enemy right now. And the USDA did a real shit job of making the food pyramid. They basically told us that corn and wheat were great and we should have 1,000 of them a day. Come to find out, that's not so good. But neither is probably starving yourself. And also, if you're on the keto diet, please don't be the asshole who thinks that, oh, now I can eat a pound of bacon and it's cool because I'm on the keto diet. Fats are fine, animal fats are fine. It's just this damn bread that I can't have. Like, get real. You still can't have 7,000 calories worth of bacon because you're on the keto diet. Or if you're on the paleo diet, even, you can't have 5,000 calories of dead animal flesh because my diet said it's okay. No, most diets pretty much tell you to work out, eat in moderation, and do this fun little thing where you don't eat platefuls of food. Try your best to just keep portion sizes. I've always been told, my grandmother's favorite saying was that you have a palm for a reason. If it's bigger than your palm, it's more than a serving size, basically, was her thing. So I routinely go away from that. But I have found myself, I bought some sunflower seeds, like not like the baseball player sunflower seeds, but like the kernels, and some almonds that I snack on at night as opposed to cheese balls. And that's been helping quite a bit. Bacon does make everything better. I'm not saying bacon's bad. Bacon's really good. But don't, tell me how great your diet is because you can have a pound of it at breakfast and expect me not to laugh in your face. It's like, I get it, Bertha, but you're not going to all of a sudden be in a bikini because you switched from Wonder Bread to bacon. Is one better than the other? Maybe, but you're probably still not going to be fitting in that two-piece the way you want to if you're shoveling piles of bacon on your plate. And why did I make this a female thing? Because I'm sure there's guys that go into ketosis and love that. Like, I don't know. I just don't get it. Like, I understand that we have a lot more knowledge now than we ever did, but if you want to eat a slice of pizza, eat a slice of pizza. Like, I don't know if you guys watched the Jersey Shore, but I think it was their first episode back. Vinny was like literally pulling the cheese and sauce off the pizza and just eating it without eating the crust. It was the most ridiculous thing I think I've ever seen in my entire life. I wanted to go through the television and punch him in the face. I think we're like 3 episodes behind on that now, which is rare because usually Lindsay stays up to date on her trash television. Last we left off was that Snooky was looking for her ring. I'm assuming she found it. Obviously, she didn't go home. So, Terry, you might be able to fit in a 2-piece because you tied around your neck. It doesn't have to go over your head. If it went over your head, I don't know that a 2-piece would then fit you. Because we all know what you're working with over there on that nugget. His name may be Bertha. Also, so I'm an asshole, as you guys, most of you know, but I've really felt like a huge asshole. So it's been 2 weeks since I've done this. So this is a little bit old news now. But anyway, I guess it was about a week and a half ago, Tammy Duckworth brought her child. She had a newborn kid. She brought her child onto the Senate floor, the House floor, whatever, Congress. She brought it on the floor to vote. And it was a historic moment. I guess a woman had never given birth and then brought her baby onto the floor. And I saw the pictures and she was getting pushed in a wheelchair. And my first thought was like, come on, like, you gave birth. It's not like you got your legs blown off in a helicopter crash in Iraq. Like, come on, do you really need to be wheeled in like a week after you gave birth? So that was the first, like, my mental thought. And then come to find out, she actually is a double amputee. And I'm an asshole. So I was like, why is this bitch getting pushed around in a wheelchair? Oh, because she got both of her legs blown off in a helicopter crash in Iraq. That makes a lot more sense now. It's not because she was, post-birth trauma. It was because she actually, lost limbs fighting for our country. And I'm the asshole that was like, look at this bitch getting wheeled into Senate. Well, what's her problem? What's her deal? Oh, she doesn't have legs. She's like, it's like my Lieutenant Dan moment. Tammy, you got new legs. But she does have prosthetics. She was not wearing them at the time. Just, toting her baby. And it was a great moment for our country and for old Tammy Duckworth. It was not a great moment, however, for my mental, I guess my mental state was fine, but I did feel like a pretty big asshole when that one happened. I got a lot of stuff actually written down in notes this time, because I prepared for this podcast, believe it or not. I haven't prepared fully for my continuing license stuff that I need, which is due tomorrow, and I still have to upload a video for that. But this comes first. I want to let you guys know that my podcast is more important than my continuing license. Just let you know. These are the things I do for you. Let's see what else happened. Oh, yeah. So continuing with the trend of me being an asshole, Lindsay went to Philly, like I said. So the Thursday night before she left was going to be our last dinner together for a few nights, because she obviously was not going to be here. She's going to be in Philadelphia. It's hard to have dinner together when one person is in a different zip code. In case you guys didn't know that. So I was like, you know what, we'll try to do something a little special. The kids wanted Sloan, I shouldn't say the kids. Maxon doesn't eat anything aside from chicken nuggets and macaroni and cheese. So Sloan had been wanting some sushi, and we told her we would get some. Ended up that the place was closed. I don't know why. It was like Chick-fil-A. It was closed on a Sunday. I was like, you're a Thai place. What the hell are you closed on a Sunday for? I don't even know. Are they Christians? Are people in Thailand? It's probably, yeah, I guess we kind of mercilessly spread Christianity through the globe, through the sword. All right, that went dark really fast. Anyway, they were closed on Sunday, and I told Sloan I would get her sushi, and Lindsay was like, yeah, let's do sushi. So I went to the store and I bought the nori wrapping paper, some tuna, some salmon. I forget what whitefish I got, whether it was cod or I think it might have been cod. Maybe it's mahi-mahi. Whatever it was, I got 3 or 4 different fish. I got some of the imitation crab because Sloan and Lindsay both like the California roll. So you go the imitation crab, the cucumber, and the avocado, I think. Wrap it up real nice, First off, the rice was not going on the outside. Just wasn't happening. There was no way I was going to be able to make that happen. It's a fusion restaurant. They're neat and new, and they're the trend. So it's like a fusion restaurant. They have Thai, sushi, and then obviously with sushi, some Japanese cuisine. So it's like you can get pad Thai and a rainbow roll. It's pretty slamming. I did not know I was such a huge fan of pad Thai. It's basically like eating chicken and peanut butter. And who doesn't love chicken and peanut butter? That's actually probably keto. I can have chicken and I can lather it up with peanut butter, and I'm straight keto. So look for me on Monday in work with a jar of Jif just shoveling in my mouth, because I'm sure that's really, really good for you. Okay, so the one in Lewis is closed on Sunday too. It's called like Chayo or Kayo. I don't know if they go hard H's in Thailand or if you say the H like Chayo or if it's Kayo. I'm not even going to pretend to be cultured and pretend to know. I guess if it's a fusion place, who the hell cares? I don't know. Maybe it's a Japanese word, which I'm not going to say a racist accent here. Anyway, they were closed. I tried to make my own sushi. I found out real fast that the sushi was going on the inside. There was no way I was going to be skilled enough to wrap the sushi on the outside. I didn't realize how much of a tongue twister that was. So there was no way I was going to be able to wrap the sushi on the outside. I even bought sesame seeds, toasted them and everything. Like, I was going top notch shit. I bought the wasabi powder that you put some water in and make it into a paste. I learned a lot about sushi, by the way. What I also learned was that you need sharp fucking knives if you're going to make sushi. So I don't have sharp knives. I probably should. I cook enough that I could justify spending $200-$300 on some knives, but my brain just won't let me spend that much money on knives. So I keep buying the shitty Paula Deen or Cutco or whatever's in the front row of the JCPenney or whatever department store is going to close in the next 3 years in the Dover Mall. I just keep cycling through those for 60, $70 every 5, 6 years. So my knives were shit. I tried to sharpen them on the thing, which doesn't work. It just kind of straightens the blade a little. It's not really a sharpener. I went to cut the sushi and I ended up just literally smashing everything that I had taken the time to wrap and delicately place on this cutting board, and just smashed it, obliterated it. And my poor wife and daughter had to come into the kitchen to me, literally throwing imitation crab against the wall. I threw an avocado. I know I threw the imitation crab, and at one point in time, I almost threw the knife. But Lindsay stopped me because I have 2 young children in the house, and I think that would have been a bad idea. But yeah, so I literally wage quit. That, there you go. I literally rage quit sushi. So I went downstairs, I cursed, I put in a load of laundry, which is my go-to when I'm super mad. I just grab a fucking thing of laundry and I throw it in the washing machine, and I probably overstuff it, but I don't know why. But when I get pissed, I either do the dishes or I go do laundry. And there were no dishes to be done because I was in the process of throwing them across the kitchen. So I went and did some laundry. I came back. We cut up the sushi. It was pretty mangled. It looked pretty terrible. So I didn't get to Insta post it and seem cool. But I did actually get the sushi set up. Although my wife now thinks I'm psychotic. I think she knew I was psychotic, but she definitely thinks I'm psychotic, no doubt. So a lot's happened in 2 weeks, I guess. I think I just got text message probably about that Madden League. You guys don't care about the Madden League. Why do I always talk about it? Because I care about it. No, are we, speaking like of food, are we still allowed to eat Jello and pudding? I know that we boycott things when stuff happens that we don't like, but I'm just curious if we can still eat Jello and pudding. Because my boy Bill was over there, slipping roofies in ladies' drinks. Which I saw an article, and I audibly laughed out loud. Audibly laughed out loud, because it was like the headline was, "Why Bill Cosby's victims' sexual orientation matters." And it kind of blew me away a little bit. Okay, I guess she's a lesbian. I don't know. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know. I'm guessing that just from the headline. Of course, I didn't click the article, because what kind of person would actually read an article? The headline's there. That's what it's for. But it just audibly made me laugh out loud, because it's like, why the gender? Here we go. Of course, the gender matters, because that's the difference between Kevin Spacey and Bill Cosby. But why the sexual orientation of Bill Cosby's victims matter? And I just thought it was funny, because what does it matter if she was a lesbian or straight? If she was raped, she was raped. If she was roofied, she was roofied. I didn't understand that angle. I probably should have clicked the article to understand the angle, but I thought it was just easier to laugh in my head and go from there. I think her neck looks more like Big Bird than Larry Bird. Yes, I said it. I went there and I said it. No, but Bill, look, that's one thing I have seen people posting. It was a meme of all the girls on the Cosby Show. If he didn't rape any of these girls and they're beautiful, why would he rape the ugly girls? For most guys, rape isn't about looks, or, for some of those incels, or those involuntary celibates. For those that don't know what an incel is, the involuntary celibates are the guys that go around and shoot up a school or shoot up a coffee shop because some girls won't sleep with them. Those guys, yes, it is about looks and it's about getting laid and those things. But for most guys, it's definitely just a power thing. It's not at all in any way, shape, or form related to am I attracted to this girl sexually? No, it's 99% of the time, especially with serial rapists, a power thing. They want to have the power or put the person that they're abusing out of power. I don't want to, get too in depth into the mentality of rapists. So let's take a hard left and just say I'm not boycotting Jello or pudding. I'm still eating them. Although I can agree that Bill Cosby is a terrible human being and should spend the rest of his life in jail, because that's where he's going. Actually, I don't even know if he should spend the rest of his life in jail. He should spend the rest of his life on home confinement. Is he really going to be quote unquote rehabilitated or punished in jail? He's got enough money, sue him in civil court and let that be that. Again, I don't want to be insensitive to anyone's feelings, whatever the victim wants. If she wants to see him locked up, then I guess whatever, she can pursue that in sentencing and give her mea culpa to the judge. But I don't see the point in putting an 80-year-old man in jail. Same way with this Golden Gate killer, or he was a cop. I guess he was a serial killer. I mean, that's a little different because he actually killed people, but he's like old as shit now. He's not murdering people anymore. Like, put him on home confinement, make him check. I don't know. I'm really lefty snowflake when it comes to putting people in jail. Like, I just don't. If you can avoid it at all costs, I think it should be avoided at all costs. And yes, I realize I just advocated for a serial killer to not be put in prison, but once you start digging a hole, you got to keep digging. You can't start putting dirt back in. You have to keep digging, whether it's a rapist or a serial killer. If you're saying they shouldn't be in jail, you dive right on in. You dive in like you're President Trump on Fox and Friends. You just keep going. You scream louder. You shout over the hosts. Like, it got to the point. I don't know if you guys, obviously you heard about it, but I don't know if you saw the interview. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched probably 10 of the 30 minutes, I guess. And it got to the point where the hosts were basically like, all right, I'm sure you have much more important things to do than talk to us and incriminate yourself on obstruction of justice charges. So why don't you go ahead and hit the sack there, Donnie? I guess he wouldn't be hitting the sack, though. He'd actually be doing his job as opposed to calling into Fox and Friends, which is pretty obvious at this point. He spends a lot of his time watching cable news, whether it's Fox, whether it's CNN. It's plainly obvious. He can say he doesn't. He spends a lot of his time golfing and watching cable news, and that's fine. I mean, whatever. He's got, well, he doesn't have many cabinet members because he doesn't appoint them, and the ones he does appoint are like psychotic and either beat their girlfriends or hand out Percocets and then step down due to the vicious rumors. Not because they're true, but because of the vicious rumors. So I don't know. Oh, so the NFL draft. Let's see. Did your team get who you wanted them to get? I hope the Jets drafted, obviously, Sam Darnold, quarterback out of USC. A lot of people said he was the best player or the best quarterback in the draft, I guess you can say. He fell down to number 3 for the Jets. They scooped him up. I know the Steelers drafted that Rudolph kid from Oklahoma State. A lot of people liked him as like a late round sleeper kind of deal. The Packers really went crazy. They drafted 2 cornerbacks, and I shouldn't say went crazy like it was a bad thing, but they definitely shored up their secondary with Josh Jackson and Jair Alexander, I think it was. So, I mean, I don't want to talk about that too much. And I shit on Philly on the last episode, but I got to go back to shitting on Philly a little bit again. Like, so I don't know if you saw, but their kicker, David Akers. Yes, I said kicker. Their kicker, David Akers, gets up there and basically says, oh, well, some of these guys it was in Dallas. So some of these guys being drafted weren't even alive the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl, which I get it. The Eagles won the Super Bowl and they're still riding high, but you're a fucking kicker. And the Super Bowl happened like, I don't know, 4 months ago now? Like, give it a break, dude. Like, the Jason Kelsey one was cool because he was like continuing the underdog theme and he was in the Mummers outfit. So it was pretty cool. And the crowd was treating him like he was stone cold, yelling what? But the David Akers one it rubbed me the wrong way. It seemed like when like a girl breaks up with you and then posts some shit on Facebook, like, I'm living my best life, or, oh, I'm so happy now. And it's like, really? Are you really that happy? Or are you just like kind of trying to say that to make yourself seem happier than you are? I don't know. I don't want to seem like a jealous guy. Like, I'm like, the Eagles won the Super Bowl and they deserve to celebrate. But like, when your kicker's talking shit, it's a little bit much. It's like, come on, Philly, have a little bit of class. Like, let's go, have some class. That's actually my next point, and I know it's not popular. Shazier walking up to the podium was awesome. It was really cool to see, but it's not an inspirational story for me. It's like a fucking tragedy. Like, this guy was like a world-class athlete, could run around the field as fast as like running backs, and he was like 250 pounds. If you don't know Ryan Shazier, I think it was on it was either Monday night or a Thursday night last year against the Bengals. Ran into a guy and head first, obviously, and just hit him awkwardly. It didn't look bad at first, but as soon as he landed, you could tell something was up. Like, players were waving the trainers over. His arm was stuck underneath of him, and he like showed no signs that he was trying to move it away. And it's great that he's walking again. It's awesome to see him walk. Like, I was a Jets fan when I was a kid, so Dennis Byrd had a similar injury, and then seeing him walk out on to the 50-yard line and do the coin toss and stuff like that, it's cool. It's really cool, and it's amazing to see the perseverance and the strength that these guys have. But at the end of the day, his life is like ruined. I mean, so it's a sticky subject for me, because I mean, yeah, it's great that he's put his best foot forward, and he's showing strength, and he's showing courage, and he's showing perseverance, and all those things should be held up like, oh, look what this guy's doing. But at the same time, it's like, this guy, his life, he could barely walk to the podium. And a year ago, he was one of the most feared defenders in the NFL. It's just like, it's such a tragedy for me. But I don't want to take anything away from what he's done or his recovery, because that is 100%, like everyone said, amazing. And it was great to see him walking again, because who wants to see someone like laying in a bed with their neck stabilized for the rest of their life? Nobody. I mean, I know he has hopes of playing again. Watching him walk across the stage, it's hard to imagine that he'll ever play again. I just hope for him that he's happy, and the NFL, takes care of his medical bills and all that stuff. That's really all you can hope for at this point. But other than that, it is an inspiring story to see him, just walking, which is insane to say that just walking is an inspiration, but it really is. So yeah, I was speaking of the fusion restaurant, the Kayo, the Thai Japanese fusion restaurant. We also order from Pat's Pizzeria a lot. Well, I shouldn't say a lot, maybe like twice a month. But we ordered, I guess it's been about 2 weeks ago now. So the day after I did the last podcast, so it was like Monday or Tuesday. And I said, can I have your Asian chicken salad? And the guy was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, well, it's the one, it comes with like the sesame dressing. And they were like, we don't have an Asian chicken salad. And I was like, well, I don't know. I've gotten it before, and it's got like the sesame dressing on it. And they were like, do you mean the Oriental chicken salad? And I was like, yeah, like what's like, I know it's 2018, and I don't want to like, misname anything, but is it really that big of a difference between an Asian salad and an Oriental salad? I was like, dude, come on. Like, you knew what I meant. I told you it had the sesame dressing. Just say, okay, sir, that's the Oriental salad. Don't make me feel like an asshole because I called it an Asian salad. Like, I was so pissed. I almost canceled my whole entire order because this guy was like, oh, well, we don't have an Asian chicken salad. It's Oriental, sir. And I was like, is it even that big of a difference, like, between Asian and Oriental? I mean, you knew what I meant, and it comes with the sesame dressing. Come on, man. Why are you doing this to me? How are you going to be like that? How are you going to do that? I don't know. What else happened this month? I don't know. Got a Lindsay downstairs with the kids, so I'm kind of happy about that right now. Oh, yes, back to football. I know a lot of you guys hate football, but let me go back there. So the Colts kicker, Jay Feely, he's another kicker. David Akers obviously was a kicker. And my feelings on kickers. I think they're self-righteous and important. But anyway, Jay Feely posed for his daughter's prom picture, I guess it was. Like, the Bad Boys movie, the joke, like they come out, they act crazy, they have the gun, everything else. So he did that. He had the gun in the picture. And people gave him so much shit because, God forbid, he had a gun in the picture with the daughter and the boyfriend, which, according to Jay Feely, they've been dating for a long, long time. So who the hell am I? I don't know. I don't know the guy. Maybe he's a jokester with the kid. Do I think it's like a cheesy thing to do? Yeah. As a dad, it's your job to protect your kids, and I get that aspect. But it's not your job to make sure your daughter doesn't have sex until she's 35. Like, I know that's the joke that I got a shotgun and a shovel and nobody will miss you. But if you want your daughter to have a healthy life, sex is probably part of that. Like, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about my daughter having sex. But at the same time, I don't think you guys have to worry about me being the guy with the gun in the picture either. However, talking to my fellow liberals, my fellow snowflakes, we got to start picking our battles. Like this one was just a bit too much. Most of them actually are a bit too much, but this one was way, 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 way over the line. I should probably darken out my screen and do this so I don't have glare on my eyeglasses the entire time. What if I do this? Oh, well, then I can't see anything. I look kind of like an avatar. I don't know. Maybe I should dye my face blue. Join the Blue Man Group, be an avatar. No, so we have to pick our battles. It's a dad making a terrible joke. That's what dads do. Dads make bad jokes. Like they're called dad jokes for a reason. Like the guy, it was obvious everyone was safe and it was a funny picture. Like the guy was just playing on the stereotype, like, oh, no one will miss you. I'll shoot you and I'll kill you. And it turned into this thing like he's a terrible human because he exposed his daughter to guns, or how dare he feel like he has to protect his daughter in that manner, in that sense. And it was like, get a fucking clue, get a break. Like, give me a break. It's asinine to me where we're going with a lot of this shit. Like there's just so much outrage. It's ridiculous. Like the Starbucks thing in Philly. Like, was that terrible? Yes, but the manager should be fired. Every single Starbucks in the country is probably not run by that guy. And every single Starbucks in the country probably doesn't have super racist managers. It just happened to be that Starbucks had a racist manager. And now we're calling for everyone to boycott every Starbucks. Like, I don't know. We have this outrage, like this outrage culture where everyone has to be outraged, and how angry can you get and how mad can you get? And then we have shit like our president called in to Fox and Friends, like I already talked about, like a lunatic. And that's just another Thursday for us. But heaven forbid someone wears a shirt that says something about, I don't know, disabled people, or says something, or poses in a picture with his daughter with a gun. That's the shit we're going to die on the hill for. Like, like, really, is this the hill we want to die on? That dads can't take stupid pictures holding a gun with their daughter and the boyfriend? Like, that's the hill we're going to die on. Like, I get 17 people died in Parkland. I get that we have gun control issues in this country. I get that people can just mow down innocent bystanders. I get all of those things. However, we got to figure out a better way to to police ourselves on the left. Like it's getting a little like almost laughable. Like, let's worry about the climate. Let's worry about, our country going to shit. Those are two great things to worry about. Let's not worry about some ex-NFL kicker taking a picture with his daughter where he's got a gun. All right, I hit the half-hour mark. That's kind of where I want these live ones to be. I don't want to go for an hour every single time. So if you're still tuned in, thank you so much. I'm going to post the YouTube on my Facebook. Don't forget to check out the actual podcast. Any podcasting app you use, whether it's Podcast, Google Play, Podcast Addict, Castbox, all those, Stitcher. I'm on almost all of them. I think everyone except Spotify. I had some issues getting on Spotify, but just check out the podcast in any format. This is the 65th episode, so there's plenty of them. I think I have my feed set up to display the last 50. If you want access to any of the earlier ones, just shoot me a text and let me know. I'll send you a direct link to those. So just search up What Had Happened Was Podcast on any of those apps, and I'm usually the top one, but sometimes there's like a dead one that was like 5 years ago that the guy made 2 episodes and then stopped. But just check that out. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great week. I will be back next week. And okay. So that's how we'll close it. So if you haven't noticed, I'm not drinking any beer tonight. And that is me preparing, as I talk shit on people with the keto diet, like having to tell everyone like what their diet is and what they're doing. So let me tell you what I'm doing. We have a History, Heritage, and Hops Festival in Dover this weekend. It's going to be pretty cool. We have the NASCAR race. We have what's called Dover Days, which is like a historical event. There's like, they run around the maypole, and I think they lynch a few black people. I don't know, whatever they used to do back in the day. So we have that. And then after that, they're going to have a history, heritage, and hops, where it's going to be a bunch of beer, some historical facts, and like I think some food trucks. So that's coming up. So I'm going to drink there. But after that, from that day, which is May 5th, so May 6th until June 16th, I am going no beer. I'm definitely still going to booze. I'm going to drink, I think, whiskey and wine, probably more whiskey than wine. The reason being is for like you keto fucks, the calories. I just drink too many empty calories, way too many Bud Lights, or I've had a whole case of Stella Artois lately. That sounded fucking snooty. You can't even say that beer's name without sounding like an asshole. Oh, I just had some Stella Artois. Jesus. I'm going to buy some more. I like sounding like an asshole. It actually is a really good, like, hot day beer. I mean, for a hot day, I like a Bud Light or something smooth. I don't want to like 90-minute when it's 95 degrees out. Like, no, I'll eat that. I'll have that with a steak dinner in the winter. But the Stellas are really good. Now I get why people call them Stellas, because if you call them Stella Artois, you sound like a fucking twat. But on May 5th, my last beer will be drank. My wife and I's 5th anniversary is coming up. So if you see her this week, wish her a happy 5th anniversary. She's put up with me for 5 fucking years. I'm sure I'll talk more about that on the next podcast. But on the next podcast, I'll be one day no beer, but I'll probably have a few glasses of whiskey in me. So thank you for tuning in. Join back next week when we discuss my 5th anniversary and me being done drinking beer. Guys, have a great week. Whatever it is you do your best at it, and just try to make tomorrow better than the next day. Why did I end on such a positive note? No, we end the show by saying, go titty fuck yourself. So that's how I'm going to end it, but also do well, but also titty fuck yourself. But also, I hope you have a good week while titty fucking yourself.